This debut is a farce. I have no reason to be introduced to eligible bachelors when I've already picked mine.
Well, too many plans have been made to change them now. We'll discuss Tom after you've had your party.
It's not my party. It's your party.
Oh, don't be silly. You should be looking forward to this. Why, a girl's debut is the beginning of her life.
Was it the beginning of yours?
Yes, it certainly was.
When did it end?
What do you mean?
I mean, when did you stop living? When the stock market crashed and the Boland name didn't mean anything more?
Elizabeth!
Where were your gentlemen callers then?
The Millionaire, brought to you by Singer, makers of the world's finest sewing machines. Singer, with the world's finest vacuum cleaners, too. Look for these famous trademarks.
My name is Michael Anthony. Until his death, I was executive secretary to one of the world's richest men, John Beresford Tipton. He had what was perhaps the strangest hobby in the world, and one of the few fortunes large enough to indulge it. This is Silverstone, Mr. Tipton's fabulous 60,000-acre estate. Here, after his retirement from the world of business and high finance, he pursued this hobby, which was nothing less than every now and then giving away to a total stranger the sum of $1 million. And because he insisted on remaining anonymous, I was the man who actually delivered the check.
You sent for me, sir?
Mike, what does this book represent to you?
Well, sir, it's a type of directory.
A very special type directory, Mike. The social register. Now, what about this book?
Well, that's Who's Who, a listing of very prominent people.
You know, these two books represent the ultimate to a great many people. A name listed in one isn't necessarily listed in the other. But those names printed in both are names to be reckoned with, eh? Our next millionaire, Mike.
Katherine Boland was born at a time when the social register was the yardstick of polite society. She was pretty, charming, the center of attraction at every party. And her own debut was not only the highlight of the 1928 season, but of her life.
Good morning, Aunt Catherine.
Good morning, dear. Beth! Where are you going in that outfit?
Well, Tom's coming over, and we're going out for a drive.
In my day, a girl would die before wearing such a costume.
Well, I know, but Tom thinks I look cute in capris.
Tom is hardly a qualified judge.
I think he is. May I be excused?
I suppose so. There's no point in my trying to talk to you. And just tell that boy to drive carefully.
Yes, Aunt Catherine.
Yes, what is it?
Miss Katherine Boland?
Are you a salesman? I have a sign on the door.
My name is Michael Anthony. I have something of great importance for you.
I'm really not interested in whatever it is. Will you
Wait.
excuse- What did you say your name was?
Michael Anthony.
Oh, Mr. Anthony, I think you're very rude. I told you I am not interested in whatever it is you're selling.
Might I come in a moment? I assure you I have nothing to sell.
Well, then what is it?
I have a gift for you.
A gift?
This is a cashier's check made out in your name. It is yours for just a few moments of your time.
Well, I guess I could spare a moment or two. Won't you come in?
Thank you.
I trust this isn't one of those crude commercial schemes.
Oh, no, Miss Boland. I assure you it's not that.
Well, please sit down.
Thank you. Now, if you will please look at this check. It's made out in your name, and the tax on it has already been paid.
My niece will bring us some tea.
Oh, thank you, but I have a plane to catch. Miss Boland, you did notice the amount of the check. $1 million?
Tea will only take a moment. Just make yourself comfortable.
Yes,
Oh.
Aunt Catherine.
Mr. Anthony, this is my niece, Elizabeth.
How do you do?
Dear, will you make us a pot of tea? Mr. Anthony and I have some business to discuss.
Okay, one pot of tea coming up. Bye.
She really is a very sweet girl. Sometimes she forgets her manners.
Yes. Now, about this check, you see, I represent a philanthropist who insists on remaining anonymous. He has authorized me to give you this cashier's check for $1 million to do with as you wish, with only one stipulation.
Well, before you go any further, I'd like to make it clear that the Bolands never give endorsements to promotional ventures.
Believe me, there are no strings attached to this. This is a gift, Miss Boland. The only requirement is that you never reveal the exact amount or the source of this endowment to anyone except your husband in the event you should marry.
Oh.
Now, if you will just sign this paper, the money is yours.
Well, this seems to be in order. Oh, Mr. Anthony, what assurance do I have that this benefactor won't reveal to whom he gave this money? For publicity purposes, perhaps.
Oh, believe me, your secret is quite safe.
Well, I feel that I can trust you. You have an honest face.
Where's Mr. Anthony?
Mr. Anthony had to leave. Put the tray down. And come here for a moment. I have a very pleasant surprise for you.
Tom's in the kitchen. I'd better go
Well,
back to him.
Tom can wait. I bet you're only 18. Remember, you're a Boland. Tom just doesn't suit you.
But I love him. How could he not
Now.
suit me?
Now, we must plan for your debut.
For my what?
Your coming out party. You're of age now to be introduced to society. And I'm going to see that it's done properly. Now, you'll need some gowns. And this house needs fixing up. I'm going to have a contractor here in the morning. The place will have to be papered and painted and a complete redecoration. Yes, we'll need a cook and a maid and a gardener and perhaps a chauffeur.
A cook, a maid, and a chauffeur? But what are we going to use for money?
Well, it isn't nice for young ladies to question their elders, particularly where finances are concerned.
All right. It isn't nice for young ladies to leave young men standing in the kitchen either. May I tell Tom that I'm being detained?
You may tell Tom goodbye. And then I want you to come right back here. I have a lot of planning to do.
Miss me?
I've had 4 cups of coffee.
I'm sorry, honey, but my aunt's planning a coming out party for me, a regular debut.
A what?
I don't get it either. But anyway, it looks like today's date is called off.
Oh, great.
And maybe tomorrow night?
Well, you know I have to go to school. That is, unless you want to marry a grocery clerk.
I wouldn't mind. Some of my best friends are grocery clerks.
Your master's voice again.
I forgot she's waiting for me. I'll see you sometime tomorrow.
You'd better.
And Catherine? Mm-hmm? Mr. Max Goodson, the contractor's here to see you.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Come in.
Thank you.
How do you do, Mr. Goodson? I'm Katherine Boland.
Miss Boland.
Won't you come in, please?
Thank you.
Elizabeth, will you fix us a cup of tea, please?
1 pot of tea coming up.
Do sit down.
Thank you.
Mr. Goodson, I've called you because I know you've been in business in this town a long time. Perhaps you recall this house before that awful tragedy in the stock market.
Yes, I remember. It was the most beautiful place in town. And I must say I admire you for having hung on to it all these years.
Well, I'm afraid it's all I could salvage from the family resources, but now I can restore it as it was. Here is a list.
Oh, yes, thank you.
It needs papering and painting so bad.
Excuse me, just 1 second, please, now.
Because the upholstery is...
Yes. Well, Miss Boland, I can assure you that everything will be as you specify, and I will take charge personally.
Oh, thank you. You know, my niece is going to have her debut this season, and I want it to be as nice as mine was.
October 1928.
Exactly. Do you remember?
How could I forget? I was here.
You were here?
Oh, yes, and it was a wonderful party.
Oh, yes. Yes, those were happy times.
You were the prettiest Deb of the year.
Thank you. Yes, that's the prettiest gown I ever wore.
You made it lovely. Oh, I can remember the stag line was a mile long, and you danced every dance.
I'm sorry, but I can't remember you.
I doubt if you even saw me. You were so busy.
Oh, Mr. Goodson, we do have business to discuss.
Yes.
Tea time.
Oh, thank you, Bill.
Thank you. Oh, may I help you?
Yes,
Now, I understand that you're having your debut soon, Miss Boland.
so I'm told.
Well, if it's anything like your aunt's party, you have something to look forward to.
I just found out Mr. Goodson was at my party.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I guess everything's here. I'll be seeing you, Mr. Goodson.
Oh, thank you. I look forward to it. She's a very pretty girl. Thank you.
Yes, she takes after her father. The Boland side of the family.
Where are her parents?
Well, they passed away when she was a child. I've tried to raise her as though she were my own.
I think you've done splendidly. She's charming.
I have been worried about her lately. She's been interested in a certain young man. She's so young. And Tom is just a grocery clerk.
Oh, I see. Well, I think I've taken up enough of your time for one day, Miss Boland. I will come back tomorrow with the decorator and give you a complete estimate on the work.
Oh, splendid. I suppose we'll be seeing a great deal of each other during the coming weeks.
I do hope so, Miss Boland.
Oh, don't be so formal. Call me Catherine.
Thank you.
After all, we're old friends. You came to my party.
Well, yes, I did, but,
You know, I've read my guest list 100 times or more during the past years, and I can't recall your name. Did you forget to sign it?
At your debut, Catherine, I was one of the busboys.
I think this debut is a plot to keep you away from me. Well, every time I come over, you're going on a fitting or something.
Oh, you sound half serious.
Well, I am. As soon as I come in the door, your aunt finds some reason to get me out again.
Oh, it's not that at all. She just wants me to have a coming-out party as nice as she has, that's all. I think it's kind of sweet of her.
Well, I don't think it's so darn sweet. All those guys dancing with you and you circulating around the room like some Scarlett O'Hara.
Oh. You can be my red butler.
Does that mean you'll save a dance for me, ma'am?
Well, let's see now. Well, yes, I think I can squeeze you in between Chauncey and Alcott, but I don't know.
Well, I'd rather squeeze you now.
Oh!
Excuse me, sir. Elizabeth, if Tom doesn't mind, Mr. Goodson and I would like your opinion on the new furniture arrangement.
I'll see you later, huh?
Yeah, sure. Miss Boland.
Aunt Catherine, Tom is a guest in this house, too.
Yes, certainly. But I'd like you to look at the parlor. I know you'll love it. Come on.
Well, how do you like it?
It's very nice.
Is that all you have to say?
It's beautiful. Will you excuse me?
I don't want to sound harsh, dear, but I think you were very rude to Max.
Was I? Forgive me.
Well, I'm sure you didn't mean it. Well, let's discuss the guest list, shall we?
You seem to have forgotten someone.
I didn't forget Tom. I just didn't think he'd fit in.
I think he'd fit in very nicely. After all, it is my debut, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, it certainly is, and I'm doing all I can to see that you enjoy it.
I appreciate everything you've done for me. You've been the only parents I've ever had. But this debut is a farce. I have no reason to be introduced to eligible bachelors when I've already picked mine.
But too many plans have been made to change them now. We'll discuss, Tom, after you've had your party.
It's not my party, it's yours.
Don't be silly. You should be looking forward to this. After all, a girl's debut is the beginning of her life.
Was it the beginning of yours?
Certainly it was.
When did it end?
What do you mean?
I mean, when did you stop living? When the stock market crashed and the Boland name didn't mean anything anymore?
Elizabeth.
Where were your gentlemen callers then?
You're being very unkind.
Oh, I didn't mean to be, honestly. It's just that there's no party without Tom.
Are you questioning my judgment, Elizabeth?
I'm questioning your right to judge. You've never loved anything but this house and your last name.
Oh, that's not true. I love you. I've arranged this whole affair for you to bring you out as a Boland should be.
Boland! I'm so sick of that name.
Now, that's enough. I'm sure when you think about it, you'll say you were sorry.
Woo! all over the place.
Beth, will you marry me?
Of course I will. But not now.
Why not?
Well, in the first place, this isn't a wedding gown. And in the second place, it's midnight.
Can't think of a better time for a wedding.
You're forgetting that, Catherine.
She doesn't want you to marry me either, does she?
Well, it's just that she wants me to meet a few other people before I decide to...
To marry one of them. And after your debut, she'll find some other reason to keep us apart.
After my debut, nothing will keep us apart. I've already decided that. But wait at least until then. I can't hurt her now. She's planned everything for so long.
Beth, I love you. But I'm not going to sit around in the kitchen waiting for you forever. I'm bowing out right now.
Tom? Wait. It'll take me a few minutes to pack and write a note to Aunt Catherine. Do you think you can wait?
Don't hurry. I'll give you 5 whole minutes.
Come in, Max.
Thank you, Kathy. Well, what is the matter with you? Someone stolen the party peanuts?
There's not going to be a party.
What do you mean there's not going to be a party?
Well, read that.
Oh, he seemed like such a nice young man the few times I've seen him. I wouldn't worry about them.
Well, I'm not worried. I'm just ashamed. She didn't want to spoil my party. And it was my party all along. Oh, I was a selfish woman living back in 1928. And when I did have a second chance, when I did come into another fortune, well, I used it selfishly to try to buy back my past.
Kathy. Now, you are still the prettiest deb of the year.
Oh, Max, you're the nicest busboy I ever met.
I have finally put my tray aside. Now, may I have this dance?
Oh, your name isn't on my dance card. It isn't proper.
What difference does it make?
Oh, none, Max. None at all.